YouTube, Quinn Wade coming to y'all with that basketball analysis on analysisplayground.com and on YouTube. We're going to talk about the news that's going around with more people getting signed. And Tom Thibodeau is another coach like JB Bickerstaff that got an extension or continue his career as a coach will be legit for the next 3 years. As him and the Knicks was able to agree to an extension from 27 to 28, so he already was guaranteed, almost his money. Now he's guaranteed an extra 3 more years, and they want him around, not just trying to pay him because he did a great job. They want to see what he can do, and he has really turned this whole organization around since that "see what he can do" contract. And now they know that this is the guy for them right now, and I feel like that's really cool to see. A guy that people look like he was old school and he was only defensive minded and he didn't know how to play his players or his starters the right amount of minutes, or maybe he overcoached them. And it's been a turnaround drastically how we look at and we picture a Tom Thibodeau team being ran, and how we look at a team in general wanting to keep a coach around. And he has got this team to the playoffs. He has got a lot of out of this team. They love playing from him. They love the push that he gives them. They love what he demands them to do as a unit, and they've been able to really play well. I feel like this is his type of team, one of those teams that's hard nosed and just really like to fight and play and value and attack every possession. And this is the type of team that he should want. Defenders, you got size a little bit with Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson, and then you got scoring in the backcourt with Hart, or you can go with Brunson, or Mikal Bridges, and they just have so much versatility, so much size, and just smart players that work to get to where they at in the NBA, and they know the hard way, they know the ugly way, they know the business way, and they found a way to find a home here. And it seems like they want to see this out, and this is the purpose of the extension. We just want to see, we like what we see, can we see more? And then after that, we want to see this whole journey of this team being together as long as they can and make a long run at this team being successful. And it all started 2 years ago, and now you see the evolution of the team continuing to draw more attractors and more people opinions. And they mostly been saying positive things about the Knicks in general. People have the Knicks as a title contender now, and that's something that we never was saying a couple years ago, even when they got Jalen Brunson. And Jalen Brunson, you only need one superstar or one all-star to attract other ones, and he has been able to do that. And they all got the same type of mentality, and they all got the same type of work ethic. So it makes sense why this team is gelling so well and why they are a team that everybody's talking about, because they got far last year and they wasn't even healthy with their roster, and they still was able to play well without having a lot of the team being healthy. And after that, this team has just been one of the brightest spots in the NBA, because people were saying, even Kevin Durant was saying, nobody want to save New York. Nobody wants to come and bring a championship to New York just because it's one of the biggest city and it has a lot of things going for it. And we really haven't seen any major superstars since Carmelo and Amari go, but they was more all-star caliber players at that time. They had the look of being a superstar, but they didn't really have any long runs outside the Western Conference final run that they both had together. But by then they was older and they was slowly creeping out of their prime. So this is a younger team, is what I'm saying. This is a team that can stay together a little longer. This is a team that can figure out a little bit more things, and this is why they give them an extension. We want you to run this course with this team as long as you can, and as long as you don't wear out your welcome or do too much or fail a little bit, then we're going to keep you around because you're the coach for this team. And I just think it's just good to see, that Tom Thibodeau gets rewarded, that you have a record that's above 500 as a career record. He's 527 and 398 losses. That's a great record, and it's going to continue to go up with this potential team if they can stay healthy. And then you look at the fact that they even added OG Anunoby as another lockdown potential defender on the perimeter, and he can just help Mikal Bridges, and Mikal Bridges can help him, and in tandem they can just be just as good as Drew Holiday and Derek White like the Celtics had, and that's their goal. And Jalen Brunson is one of those guys that got an extension too, and he's a bucket. You can't really stop him from scoring. He can hit shots from all three levels, and he's a guy that can facilitate, and he's a guy that understands how to keep everybody involved. You can't really say anything negative about Jalen Brunson right now because he's balling. And if he wasn't injured, people say they probably even get to the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm not going to go that far because Andrew Nembhard for the Indiana Pacers, he showed that he can show out and he can score and he can play well. And he was showing me that rookie season that he deserves to be a starter. And I wouldn't argue that. And they wouldn't either because they gave him a 3-year, $59 million extension. Now, is he a superstar? No, but he's a guy that understands his game and understands his role, and he doesn't get in anybody's way, and he can really step up in big moments and big games. And he only played 2 seasons right now, and he already got an extension coming his way, which is really good to see. Like I liked him. I put him on my all rookie first team for that reason, but he only averaged 9 points, 4 assists, and shot 46% from the field in 143 games, and he started 110 of them out of that, and he was the 31st pick in the 2022 NBA draft. So that's something to keep in mind. But in the 2012 playoffs, which was to this year, he averaged 14 points, 5 assists, and 3 rebounds in over 17 playoff games. And that was really good because he shot 56% from the field, including 48% from three. So when the games matter most, you're supposed to elevate your game in the playoffs. And Andrew Nembhard did that, and Tyrese Halliburton went down and he stepped up and didn't make excuses. He didn't complain. He just went out there and played his game at a higher level. And obviously you can't have numbers like this every year or every season, but it's a good start for somebody that only played 2, and it makes sense. James Johnson and the Pacers agreed to a 1-year deal. He is a veteran that understands exactly how to fit into a bench. Like, he been a bench player for a couple years, and the Pacers have all their starters, and they just need guys that can come in and contribute and give you some buckets, give you some rebounds, set some screens, and knock down some shots. And those 10 to 15 minutes, and James Johnson definitely can do that. And it's only a 1-year deal because if it doesn't work out, you don't want to be tied to that. And he's an older player while the majority of your core is younger. It makes sense, to sign him and try to find something different, even if it's in the draft. But it makes sense what the Pacers are doing. I also would say that it was some guys that got some 2-way contracts. Trey Jemison got waived, and they signed Jay Huff to a 2-way contract. The Memphis Grizzlies, like I said, some of these guys getting 2-way contracts are getting waived earlier this year. And, the Grizzlies started that off, even waiving basically Zaire Williams. They didn't literally do it. They traded him. And now they had to get rid of Trey Jemison for the same reason. We just got guys we like better. And we got guys we're attracted to already on this roster. And we just trying to fill that last spot with somebody that can really be a difference maker, even if they have a low chance of doing it. They just got to stay ready and be next man up mentality. And that's all we really need them to be. Obviously, Reggie Jackson is one of those guys that's the same. He gets waived by the Hornets like we knew that he would because they're not really looking for a veteran player. But he also wouldn't want to go to a team like the Hornets who are rebuilding and still trying to find their way back into the playoffs when he can just jump on a team like the Sixers and already be on a playoff team. Plus, he already played with Paul George with the Clippers, and they had actually made a decent run that year. And then, it didn't work out, and he wins a championship with Denver, played solidly for his role, and became one of the best bench players in the game to me. And now he's going to be doing that for the Sixers. They got Kyle Lowry. They already got Tyrese Maxey. Kyle Lowry hasn't really played that great or that aggressive offensively in a while. And now they got Reggie Jackson to do that. He's going to come in looking to pass or looking to score and looking to, help the bench out. And he has done that every step of the way. And just remember, he averaged 10 points, 3 assists per game last season for the Nuggets. So he is a double-digit scorer coming off the bench. So that makes a lot of sense for a team like the Sixers to get as much talent as they can, just to be able to compete in that tough Eastern Conference with the Celtics at the top. But it makes sense to get the best talent you can. You want to go in every year trying to be the best team or accumulate the best talent for your team, even if it ends with somebody being disappointed or the fans being disappointed. Like I said, if you can get Reggie Jackson, you get that guy because he's proven and he's shown that he can do it. And this is a team that has that process label that Joel Embiid even embodied himself. I am the process. I want to be the process. I want to be that guy that's an MVP. I want to be that guy that's he's a defensive player of the year. I want to be that type of guy. And even though he's close because he won the MVP, he didn't get the defensive player of the year. That's one that don't look like he's going to get. He don't stay healthy enough, and he's not that great of an individual defender. He's more of a great help defender, in my personal opinion, watching the game and watching the footage. But, you know, they look at these things as this is what it's supposed to be, this is how it's supposed to go. But as a GM perspective, you have to put the best talent on the roster as you can. And I feel like the Sixers are doing that, and I feel like the Grizzlies and a lot of teams, even the Golden State Warriors, we trying to use this salary cap as much as we can to keep Steph happy, to keep Embiid happy, to keep LeBron and AD happy. For example, we're going to stretch this free agency as to buyout season to continue to put this best roster mentality on paper, even if it's that. And that's the best job a GM can do. Let me evaluate the talent, let me scout the talent, let me put it on this roster, and then we'll just see what happens year to year. And I feel like a lot of these teams have did a great job of that. Like the free agency supposed to bend over, and there's still some quality guys that's still known around hardcore NBA fans that hasn't even got a contract yet, and roster spots are closing up, financial situations are closing up when it comes to contenders, for example. And now you kind of have to go to them Indiana type teams or those Memphis and New Orleans type teams where they're close or anything can happen and they can get things rolling the right way. And people say, well, they did do this, they did do this in the past. Now they're healthy and now they're doing well and now they got a better bench. That's why they're having a better record and they can probably be great in the playoffs, especially because you got playoff caliber players, because most of these veterans already played in the playoffs. So it makes a lot of sense, to make these moves and to still be aggressive late in free agency to try to squeeze that lemon for all the taste that it can give you, and the satisfaction of it is why you do it. So you got to give the credit to these GMs for trying to find a way to get as much talent on these rosters as they can, even if they have to use summer league too. And it's just the proper thing that scouting and evaluation and assistant coaches are ready to do all summer to get ready for October to have these guys ready to go, playing their best basketball throughout the 82 game season in the playoffs. Other than that, shout out to Tom Thibodeau. Comment, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. Shout out to Jalen Brunson. You was a guy that really wanted to go there and make a difference, and we're seeing that is working. And, it's good to see Knicks basketball great again. It's not good, it's not championship level, but it's great again. We just got to see how these guys perform together. That's why I can't give them credit yet, because we know what they can do individually. We don't know what they can do as a team yet. And same with some other teams that made drastic changes and drastic moves, to change their roster a lot. It sounds good, it looks good on paper, but we got to see it in action. Other than that, I'm gone.